Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be upcycling a sweatshirt into a quarter button. We'll be taking components from a button-up and integrating them into a sweatshirt. This is also a super easy upcycle project, so if you're new to sewing, you should have no problem following the easy step-by-step tutorial. With all that being said, grab your favorite button-up and sweatshirt and let's get started. Getting started with supplies, you'll need one button-up and one sweatshirt for this project. And you can use any type of sweatshirt and button-up. The first thing we're going to do is prepare the button-up, so for the moment we can place the sweatshirt off to the side. Now we're going to remove the components of the button-up in a specific order, starting with the collar. For this step, we're going to be using a dethreader because we're trying to keep it as neat as possible. And we'll be dethreading at the bottom of the collar band. If done correctly, the bottom edge of the collar band should still be folded inward, so it's easier to attach in future steps. Go ahead and place it off to the side and move to the button column. Typically, I remove the whole button column, but for this project, we only need a small section. Since we're making a quarter button, we only need the top half, and this may vary based on what size sweatshirt you're using. So it's best to lay your sweatshirt on top of the button up and see how far you want the buttons to go down the sweatshirt. Once you found that perfect spot, mark it on your button up and then give yourself about 1 to 2 inches extra. The extra will give you a little bit of allowance to work with in future steps. With the spot marked, we can place the sweatshirt off to the side, but before we make the cut, you want to make sure you're not in line with the button. We'll be sewing this edge and you don't want to sew over a button, so you're going to want to shift it up or down away from the button. Then grab a pair of scissors and make your cut. Separate the top from the bottom, and for the moment we don't need the bottom section, so we can place it off to the side. Undo all the buttons, and for this next step we're going to be removing the button column. For this step, it's very important to cut about 1 to 2 inches away from the button column to give yourself enough seam allowance to sew it on in future steps. And if you want, you can cut further away than that and trim it down later. Just like with the other components, we can place the button columns off to the side. For this next step, we're going to be removing a portion of the sleeves, and this is really based on how much sleeve you want to use in your project. I'm only going to be using a little bit, so I'll be making my cut after the shoulder seam and not directly on it. And just like with the bottom section, it's best to cut more and then you can always trim it down later. So go ahead and place the sleeves off to the side, and that's all we can take off the button up at this time. We will be adding a pocket in later steps, but for the moment we can place it off to the side. And grab your sweatshirt so we can begin to prepare it. The first thing we're going to do is remove the waistband, and I'll be using a dethreader because I'm trying to keep as much fabric on the sweatshirt as possible. If you have a longer sweatshirt and you're not concerned about the material, you can use scissors. We'll be reattaching this in future steps, so you'll want to remove all the thread bits and then place it off to the side. For the next step in preparation, we're going to flip the wrong sides out. Locate the side seam, and we're going to start dethreading until we're 1 to 2 inches away from the sleeve. We want to dethread past the point where we made the cut for our button up. And you can either dethread or use scissors. After finishing up both side seams, we're going to flip the right sides out. Grab one of your button columns, line it up with your neckline in the center of the sweater. We'll be using this as a guide to cut off the bottom portion of the sweater. And I'm not going to be cutting directly from the bottom because I added that 1 to 2 inches of allowance. You can also kind of get a good idea of what it's going to look like, so if you want to take it even up more, you can do that too. But if you do take it up, just make sure you're not in line with one of the buttons. Using chalk or a pen, mark your cut path. Place the button column off to the side, and remember we're only cutting through the front panel of the sweatshirt. We'll be using the bottom section later, so place it off to the side. And using the neckline as a guide, find the center of the sweatshirt. You may also want to double check it by measuring in from the side seams. Then make your cut directly down the center through the front panel. Grab both of your button columns and place them along the center cut. And you want to make sure you line the top edge up with the neckline. Flip them around so the right sides are together and the outside edges lined up with the center cut. And before moving on, you do want to quickly make sure that the buttons are lined up with the buttonholes. And don't worry if they extend past the bottom edge because we're going to trim these up in future steps. Go ahead and place your pins and stitch the button columns down. I'll be using a serger, feel free to use a zigzag stitch. And this is why we left that little bit of room on the button column, so it's easier to sew onto the sweater. Flip the columns back over so the right side is facing up. Before we add the top stitch, we want to grab the collar and line it up with the neckline. Since the collar is made out of a stiff fabric and it can't stretch, we need to change the neckline so it's the same length as the collar. It may be perfect and good to go already, and if that's the case, you can move on, but more than likely the neckline is going to be a little bit longer, so you want to take it in on that center cut. This will reduce the length of the neckline, matching it up with the collar band. If the neckline is shorter, then all you have to do is stretch the neckline as you're sewing it to match the length of the collar band. But anyways, after you made your adjustments, add a top stitch to both sides of the button column. Once the top stitch is complete, I do like to line everything up, make sure it's in line, because at this point you can still dethread and realign. But if everything is looking good, we can grab the collar, and for this next step, we're going to be attaching it to the neckline. I think the easiest way to do this is to mark the center on the collar and the neckline and go from the center towards the outside edge, lining it up. We'll be attaching it the same way it was attached to the button up by placing the neckline in between the two folded layers of fabric. Place a ton of pins so the two sides stay lined up and stitch directly on top of the factory stitch path. After finishing up the stitch, you do want to check the inside and outside, make sure both those layers got stitched together in unison, because it's very easy for one of those layers to shift as you're sewing it and you totally miss it within the stitch. But you can quickly fix it by de-threading a small section and spot stitching. But anyways, moving on to the next step, we'll be adding the bottom section back on. And don't worry if your button column extends past the bottom edge, we'll be trimming that up in later steps. So grab the bottom section of the sweatshirt, and there's a few different ways you can do this. Depending on the look you're going for, you can reattach it just like this, or you can take it another step further and add a pocket. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Luckily, we have enough material from our button up to make the pocket. Flip the button up around to the back side, and we'll be using the back panel for our pocket. Lay the sweatshirt panel over top so you get the correct height and cut out a rectangle. Then grab that fresh cut and place it over top of the sweatshirt fabric. From here, we're going to trim it down to the shape of a hoodie pocket. And there's no right way to do this, you just want to make sure it's the same height as the sweatshirt panel. Before we add it to the sweatshirt panel, we need to first prepare it. To do this, we're going to start by just hemming the diagonal edges. And I folded each edge under a 1/2 of an inch. If you do have a serger, I recommend serging the outside edges first before stitching your hem. This is because I'm only folding the edge over once and I don't want the raw edge exposed. A quick way around this is to fold that edge over twice to completely hide the raw edge. Now we can grab the sweatshirt panel, place the pocket on the right side directly in the center. Place a few pins and roll just the side edges under so the right sides are together. As you can see, the top of the pocket sticks past the top edge of the panel. That's totally fine, you can always trim this before you reattach it. And once you're ready, we're going to stitch just the side edges, and I recommend doing a nice tack stitch at the stop and start. This will prevent the pocket from ripping out over time. And just like that, our pocket is complete and we're ready to attach this panel back to the sweatshirt. Typically I'd serge through the button column, but since this is a thicker fabric, I'm going to trim it flush with the bottom edge. Now we can grab the bottom panel, line it up directly in the center, and place the right sides together. I will be serging off the top portion of that pocket. If you don't have a serger, you can use scissors to trim it. And when you're ready, take it to your sewing machine and stitch that edge. The button column was super thick, so I actually went over that a couple times to really lock it down. This next step is optional. We're going to be adding a top stitch, and you can fold the seam allowance up or down. It really depends on the look you're going for. I'll be folding mine up and stitching directly on the seam allowance. Again, that button column was too thick to fold under and sew over, so I actually jumped that portion. You can easily make it work with different fabrics. It's just that this specific fabric is very thick and hard to work with. It's something to keep in mind when you're picking out a button up for this project. Now we can flip the wrong sides out and re-sew the side seams. Keep in mind, since we cut that front panel off and reattached it, we lost a little bit of length, so it's not going to line up perfectly with the back panel. But that's totally fine, we can always trim the back panel to match the front panel. But it's best to do this after stitching, so we're going to line up the side seams and reapply the stitch. I'm using a serger, feel free to switch it up and use a zigzag stitch. Now you can trim the bottom edge of the back panel flush with the front panel. From here we can grab the waistband and move into the next step. To reattach it, flip the right sides out and line the raw edge of the waistband up with the raw edge of the bottom of the sweater. And remember, we're placing the right sides together. And you can reattach it just like this for a clean look, but I want to take it one step further and reattach the bottom of the button up to the bottom of the sweater. My bottom section is a little bit tall, so it's going to stick down super far, so before I reattach it, I'm going to trim it down. But if you want to reattach it with extra height, you can actually make it more dress-like. This is just based on preference, so take as much off as you need. And the same rule applies with the columns, just make sure you're not in direct line of a button. Now to add it, we're going to line the button column up directly in the center of the sweatshirt and place the right sides together. And we'll be placing it on the inside of the waistband. Now there is a chance the circumference of the button up and the circumference of the sweatshirt don't line up. If this is the case, it's a super easy fix. All you have to do is pleat the button up so it matches the circumference of the sweatshirt. And you shouldn't really notice the pleat in the end because the waistband will be covering it. But more than likely, you shouldn't need to add the pleat because you'll be able to stretch the waistband and sweatshirt to the size of the button up. Either method works great, and once you have all those layers lined up, we're going to take it to the serger and sew all the way around that bottom edge. And if you don't have a serger, use a zigzag stitch. Since there are multiple layers there after sewing, I always like to double check around the entire seam, make sure all those layers got stitched together. If everything is looking good, we're going to flip the right sides out and add a top stitch along the bottom edge. Just like with the previous top stitch we added, you can either fold the seam allowance up or down. In this specific case, I recommend folding it up to avoid sewing on the waistband. It's also best to use an edge presser foot to get a nice clean stitch along that edge. Also, another trick is matching the thread color to your fabric color to hide any imperfections. And as you can see, after adding the top stitch, it really cleans up that bottom edge for a nice professional finish. At this point in the project, you could be totally done if you like the look of it, but we're going to keep going and modify the arms. So what I'm going to do is grab the button-up sleeves, place them over top of the sweatshirt sleeves, and trim off the sweatshirt sleeves. And before you trim off the sweatshirt sleeves, I do recommend making any adjustments to the button-up sleeves to get them to the right height you would like. After cutting, place the sleeves off to the side, flip the sweatshirt inside out, grab the right right or left sleeve from the button up, locate the side seam, and we're going to line that side seam up with the side seam on the sweatshirt. This will ensure the button up sleeves are attached in the correct orientation. Grab the second sleeve and repeat the process. Just like with the waistband, if it doesn't line up, you can place a pleat in the button up to get it to line up. Once you're ready, take it to the sewing machine and stitch around the outside edge. Then we're going to flip the right sides out and add a top stitch. And again, these top stitches are optional. If you don't want to add them, you can skip that step. I just think it really separates the two fabrics and gives you a nice, clean, professional finish. And for the final step, add your branding. I used leather strips added with double-sided rivets, and you can place these all around the garment. I already had multiple logos on the sweatshirt, so I didn't need that many, but I wanted to add a nice final touch. And the last thing I want to go over is you can use any one of these steps and just add that modification to your sweatshirt. For example, you can just add the collar and the button column, or you can extend the button column all the way down to the bottom of the sweatshirt. You can swap out the sleeves, add the pocket, add the skirt at the bottom. There's so many different options you can take and really modify it to your style. So have some fun with it, get creative, and make something that's unique to you. And there you have it, your new quarter button sweatshirt is complete. Hopefully yours turned out as good as mine did. Sometimes when you're mashing up these two items, it doesn't always turn out great, so I recommend trying it a few times, but I promise you will get better at it with time and practice. And there's so many different directions you can take this when it comes to the sleeves, the button up. You can make it fully button, you can add a larger pocket, you can cut up the back. I just think it's super fun to mash up two items and make something totally unique. Like always, I love to see what you come up with, so tag me on Instagram at Proper Fit Clothing, and until then, I'm gonna keep the videos coming at you, so I'll see you next time.